Hey guys, Remy here with your third stimulus check update and stimulus package update. In this video, I want to update you on what is going on with the Senate parliamentarian and when she's going to finally rule on the $15 minimum wage, which will ultimately affect the course of the whole stimulus package. Yesterday, she heard arguments from both sides, Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats, of course, argued why the 15 minimum wage should be added to the budget reconciliation package, and the Republicans obviously don't want it in there. I also want to give you some insight on what could happen if she rules either way. And Democrats are already working on plan B in case she rules against adding the $15 minimum wage to the stimulus package. This will really help us understand what is really going on here. So let's get into it. Right after you please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, so Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders said yesterday, obviously we're a little bit biased, but we think we made a convincing case that raising the minimum wage to a living wage is consistent with the rules, and he expects a ruling very soon. So we expected the ruling yesterday, but it seems like it will be today. Congress is just being Congress, right? So the back and forth with the parliamentarian is part of a reconciliation process which Democrats are using to pass Biden's massive bill with a 51-vote Senate majority in the evenly divided Senate, avoiding the need for negotiations with the GOP. So we know this is why they're going through all of this. And in order to survive under the budget rules, each piece of the COVID aid bill must clear what is known as the Byrd Rule by producing a significant effect on federal spending, revenues, and the debt within a decade, in addition to meeting a litany of other requirements. So this is not an easy process, this budget reconciliation. Senior House Democrats have privately said they plan to keep minimum wage increase in the package up for a vote on Friday, tomorrow, unless the parliamentarian says it would endanger the bill's ability to pass with simple majority in the Senate. If the parliamentarian finds a Byrd-related issue, that can be fixed later in the upper chamber. So I guess they're waiting to see if maybe she rules against it today, then they'll remove it from the package in the House and vote on it in the House without it, instead of having to go to the Senate, fix it in the Senate, and then send it back to the House. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but we'll wait and see the results today. Hopefully she rules on it today. Senator Lindsey Graham, finally we hear from some other Republicans. I'm hoping the parliamentarian will see a doubling of the minimum wage as a major policy decision inconsistent with reconciliation. I do believe there's bipartisanship to move the minimum wage up in a more responsible fashion. So he's not against going up on the minimum wage, but maybe not up to $15 right away by 2025, because that's a double in 4 years. So we'll see what happens. All eyes are on Elizabeth McDonough, the first woman to hold the Senate's nonpartisan parliamentary position. We also have Minority Whip John Thune saying, I expect, based on past precedent, that this wouldn't qualify because all the budgetary impacts are very incidental, but I know that it'll probably be fiercely contested and debated in front of her. So now here's two things that I want to cover with you also, that the Democrats could ultimately overrule the parliamentarian on any issue, but that's unlikely to happen. So that's one thing that they have in their pocket, but I don't think they'll use it, and we'll hear more from the White House Chief of Staff later. And also here it says that while waiting on the parliamentarian's opinion, Democrats have been mulling a number of options to ensure the minimum wage ultimately survives. So let's go over here and see what the White House Chief of Staff said. White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain said the administration would not try to overrule the Senate parliamentarian if she decides an increase in the minimum wage must be stripped from a coronavirus relief package. Certainly, that's not something we would do. We're going to honor the rules of the Senate and work within that system to get this bill passed. So they're not going to overrule what the Senate parliamentarian says in regards to the $15 minimum wage. If she decides that it shouldn't be included, Vice President Kamala Harris has the power to overrule her, but they're not gonna do that. Now let's go over that plan B that the Democrats are looking to do. The White House and Democratic leaders have been waiting to see how the Senate's parliamentarian, its official advisor on procedural matters, opines on the wage increase. Both Democrats and Republicans are expected to meet with the parliamentarian on Wednesday. That happened already, and her ruling could follow soon after the arguments. We're still waiting on that ruling. Hopefully it comes out today. In the meantime, Democrats are already weighing several options to try to save the wage hike from fully imploding and make it more palatable for moderates in their own party, from whom congressional leaders need lockstep support in order to muscle the COVID-19 aid package through the Senate with a simple majority vote before unemployment benefits expire for millions of Americans in mid-March. So the House Budget Chair, John Yarmuth, said there are two issues going on right now. One is Byrd Rule problems. and one is whip problems, referring in the first case to the procedural hurdle that could squash the wage hike in the Senate. If Joe Manchin isn't going to vote for it because of the minimum wage, I assume we have to take it out or compromise in ways that he would accept. Increasing the minimum wage, particularly in the middle of a pandemic when so many small businesses are struggling, would do nothing further than damage the economic welfare of low-income families. Freshman Representative Byron Donalds, Republican from Florida, said that. So yeah, I mean, increasing the minimum wage in the middle of a pandemic, it's true. Like small businesses that are struggling to survive now have to pay more. It's not going to be the 15. I think it goes up to $9 something for 2021. But also going from $7.25 to $9 something for every employee for every hour they work, it's going to hurt small businesses, especially at this time. Then Donalds also said that we know that when government raises the cost of doing business for small enterprises, such as through arbitrary minimum wage increases, the workers at the bottom actually get fewer working hours and fewer job opportunities. And that's kind of also true. The government says you got to pay employees higher than the minimum wage. And then the small businesses say, well, I can't afford that. So then they either cut those workers' hours or they lay off some of them also. So it's a double-edged sword here. But now, to ensure that a minimum wage boost survives, Democrats are discussing the possibility of capping the increase at less than $15 an hour to possibly $11 or $12. These numbers have been circling for a while now. Such a move could satisfy wonky bird rule restrictions that constrain the projected cost of the pandemic relief proposal outside of a 10-year budget window. So budget rules that allow the bill to pass the Senate without the threat of a filibuster essentially require that all pieces of the bigger package have a significant effect on federal spending, revenues, and the debt within a decade. If the package increases deficits beyond that window, approval from the Senate parliamentarian can get problematic. So this is where it's tricky. And Manchin said previously, Joe Manchin is one of the people that is really against this, but he previously said that an $11 minimum wage hike adjusted for inflation would make more sense for his home state of West Virginia. But the other senator that's also against this, Sinema, she said earlier this month that the increase is not appropriate as an add-on to the COVID-19 bill. So we haven't heard from her since then. We don't know how she feels about the $11 or $12 or anything like that. And she didn't even say how she would feel about it if the Senate parliamentarian agreed to add it to the stimulus package. So Manchin told reporters on Monday that if the parliamentarian rules favorably on the $15 minimum wage provisions, he will seek to amend the legislation to instead raise the federal hourly minimum to $11. So even if she agrees to the $15, he'll still want to make it only $11. So he's still against even what the parliamentarian would say. He's saying $11 is the right place to be. Throwing $15 out there right now just makes it very difficult in rural America. So yeah, so this is where we stand right now. I mean, Democrats are they're even trying to cut some taxes or give some tax benefits in order to, it's just a math problem. I think someone in the House of Representatives said that this is a Senate math problem. They're trying to fit the $15 minimum wage and maybe some tax provisions, maybe cut some taxes for small businesses to help them in order to offset it, in order to make it fit into the budget over a decade. We'll see what happens, but we're still waiting on the Senate parliamentarian to rule on the $15 minimum wage. Hopefully that comes out today. I told you guys that it might come out yesterday. That's what they said. And now they're saying it might come out today. But they definitely need it soon, and hopefully before the House votes on the bill tomorrow or Saturday. So maybe if she votes against it, the House can just remove it and vote on it and send it to the Senate already fixed. So in order to move things faster and have the Senate pass it right away and go finally to Joe Biden to sign it and make it into law. So this is all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it useful. As soon as we hear from the Senate parliamentarian, I'll make sure to report on it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified that whenever I publish new videos and new content for you. Also, make sure to check the links in the description for the Yada savings account and the Webull investment. And please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.